Hey, what's up? This is going to be my review for the Steelseries Siberia V2 Pro Gaming Headset Stereo. Now, I'm going to start off by saying that this is very different from most headsets as far as the way it goes on your head. Now, as you can tell, it doesn't have the adjustment on the side, and it has these two little bitty pieces right here. Now, these are made out of metal, so they are built really well. They're not just cheap plastic or anything like that. And it fits on your head as a way of this. Now, when these kind of headsets first came out, I gotta say that they did have a lot of problems with these things, these little bitty tiny strings that you probably can't see, which you did see in the unboxing, eventually do kind of run off, or just pop off or break and all that kind of stuff. But they've been doing a really great job of improving it over time, and making it to where they do a great job of just not wearing out very much. Now, these ones have definitely done a great job of that, and it seems like even after wearing it so many times, it hasn't gotten worn out. And usually you could tell, the way you could tell is by this. Sometimes it'll like get stretched out so much that it might stay out a little bit instead of going all the way back down. And that's usually the first sign that it is getting worn out. And this has done a great job of not really doing that. And because of the way it's designed, one of the great benefits of it is that compared to other headsets, it doesn't have that very thin, weak piece of plastic that makes it to where you could usually swivel it left and right. Now, you know what I mean, where you could just swivel it left and right on the headset, and inside of them, a lot of the headsets, they try to go cheap by simply making it to where the part that spins and everything is a very small piece of plastic. It's very, very tiny. And if that gets broken, the wiring and everything on the inside will be revealed, you'll be able to see it and everything, and it just breaks the whole headset. And it doesn't take that much pressure to actually break them. And since these are metal, and this is just like a regular piece of plastic, it doesn't have a part that has to spin, or that's very cheap and weak or anything like that, and it does get actual screws holding it together and everything, so you could, you know, if something happens, glue it and then just screw it back and everything like that. It's less likely to break from things like that. And I gotta say, it's very, very lightweight. That's the main thing that people go for when they buy this headset, is for it to feel very, very comfortable. And even though the padding isn't like the thickest I've seen, it's very soft. And for how little pressure it puts on your head, it's amazingly comfortable. It really is. Now, it's not like I'm going too far into that, but these are some of the things I actually do like, because my last headset, it took a very small amount of pressure on that cheap piece of plastic for it to snap and just break. It doesn't take very much. You know, even if you do something very lightly or by accident, or if your dog sits on it, might break it. And some of them do have metal in them, but you really usually don't know, and they don't usually tell you that kind of stuff. And I do like how this is metal and everything, and it does help your hair and your head breathe in general. I have long hair, so it would help me, but it would also help anybody else, keep me from less likely sweating and everything, because it doesn't cover your head so much, really, especially with something like heavy leather. And this is very soft. I don't know what to exactly call it, but it's the kind of stuff that you see on mittens or things, or scarves and stuff like that, things that you wear for holidays like Christmas and stuff like that, to go outdoors and everything. So they have that very, very soft touch. And it does kind of look cool where it says Steelseries right there. So that is pretty nice and everything. And as far as the actual earmuffs themselves, I gotta say that I have had some headsets that are very similar to this, and even though these ones are a little bit on the light leather side, they definitely do a great job of still making it very, very comfortable. Well, I'm not saying that thicker leather always makes it more comfortable, which they usually do sometimes collect more heat and make your ear sweat or create sweat around there more often. But even though this is soft, it seems like it's not that weak, and it's not like getting wore out too much or too easily or anything like that. And another thing is that as far as the actual ear part themselves, is that these speakers are 50 millimeters, which are actually quite big, because usually most headsets give you 30 millimeters or 40 millimeter speakers. Now, these ones are 50 millimeters, so you are getting a little bit bigger headset. And I'm not sure if you could actually tell, but it is angled a little bit differently. It's not just laying flat right there, actually. It's actually angled at a certain way. And the reason it does that is so that it could get it into your ear in the most safe way possible, and give you a more, I guess you could say, better way of actually being able to hear it, instead of just it being, you know, a speaker just slapped right on top of your ear. And we all know, you know, we all got these details and everything about our ear, and it works differently and everything. And, you know, sound can escape, and just the way it goes in is very, you know, different and not that simple sometimes. And these do a great job of being angled at the right way, so that it does go in your ear the correct way that it should, at least, or at least in a good way. And I'm happy that they did have labels on the sides, because you'd be surprised how many headsets do not have labels on the sides. And So yeah, the speakers are very big, and actually on the sides there is some little bit of ventilations right there and everything. So that's really good. So it does help it escape, and right here, there's a bunch of little bitty tiny holes right there. As you've seen a lot of other headsets, but it's the entire thing. It's not like half a circle or anything like that. It's the entire thing, so it's really letting it breathe. Overall, it's just very, very comfortable. And as far as the sound quality, I will say right off the bat is that you probably, as far as bass goes, you won't get quite as much as you probably would hope for, but it's still better than some other headsets. Some other headsets, they seem like they just have none whatsoever, which bass doesn't matter too much because this is a gaming-oriented headset. But if you do a slight adjustment, whether it's on your phone or your computer for something like, let's just say, bass boost, I think it will give you just enough boost or bass improvement on this headset for it to be really, really worth listening to music on. And it really, really does a great job of that. And you should be able to edit it within the software or the program you're using to listen to music, or through the settings for the headset or something. And I really, really do like that option. And like I said, it got just enough bass to really actually make it quite enjoyable for this, and especially for games as well. And I like how the microphone, you pop it out like this. It's very movable, and I do like the fact that they did protect it with some plastic right here, because sometimes when they have this kind of stuff, and it is clear so you can actually see the stuff that makes it bendable, and they do a good job sealing it up, because I really don't like it when it's being revealed, and it can get rusted, it can get dust in between it and everything. And there are some headsets that really do reveal the stuff, and it can get it stuck or make it have some problems. It really can. And even though the microphone is very, very small, it actually sounds pretty good. Even though it doesn't have like the soft mesh stuff on top of it like you would usually see on a headset, it still sounds pretty clean. And it does have a hole on the other side for the sound to be able to escape through. So, and it does a great job of just hiding. Just really hiding, so it doesn't always stick out and get in your way, or just generally get in your face. And as far as like the microphone or a mute button, I like how it's adjusted in a way where it's really hard to be able to accidentally mute yourself, because I've had so many times, you know, people that I've known that have bought new headsets simply because they thought it stopped working, you know, and maybe they are in competitive multiplayer and they rely on communication. And that's very, very important, especially when you're, you know, playing very competitive multiplayer games. And they'll find out later, oh, it was on mute. I accidentally muted myself, I guess. And this is designed in a way where you can't do that by accident, which is really, really great. And that's another reason why this is called a pro gaming headset, because it does take a lot of things into consideration. Now, this is just one of those kind of small things, but I do like how the plastic is, or not plastic, but like the rubber that's wrapped around the wiring right here is sealed inside of it. It is sealed inside of it in a way where it's next to impossible for the thing to pop out or to break, because I hate it sometimes when the plastic part or rubber part starts coming out and it starts messing with the actual wiring itself, and I really don't like seeing that. I really, really don't. The mute button has a rubber grip, which is great, so you can get really good sense of control, and because of that, it's really great for you to be able to turn it up even louder if you need to. And the microphone head jacks are just, you know, a regular one. I will say that this, even though this is not exactly as thick people would expect, it could be a lot thinner. And this is not rubberish, which is really, really great. And it's at least pretty decent, you know. It's not just, you know, overly cheap, overly thin cables or anything like that. And they do got it sealed up very, very well. They really do, which does really make a difference, especially years down the road. And, you know, it's very big, so it's very strong around those parts where, you know, it splits up into two cables and everything. And it doesn't trip on itself because it's not cheap rubber or anything like that. It's not too thin, so you don't have to worry too much about ripping it or just, you know, it getting damaged too easily or anything like that. I know I've heard it many times, but, you know, when people talk about something sounding muddy, they actually do mean it. Going from a $60 headset to this, now I truly can see why they called it muddy quality. I could really, really see it. This is just absolutely clean with just a tiny bass boost. It gets you just enough, and plus you could edit it in the game settings usually. And it's not that hard to make it work on consoles if you have a small little adapter like the $60 headsets usually do come with. You know, just plug in the headphone jack into it, and you could get a, you know, an adapter for the microphone part, and it's very comfortable. I don't have to worry about sweating so much around the ears or anything. It could breathe. Don't have to worry about that breaking so much. And, you know, as far as, you know, building up heat and sweating or anything like that, it's very hard for you to get any, you know, heat built up because the way this is, instead of it just being a really big piece going over your head and everything. So it's just a very great product overall. I really love this headset. I mean, there's just a lot of things. And again, even, going from $60 to, a $75 headset, like you could find this, and sometimes a little bit cheaper. I really feel like I'm just really getting good quality. It's better in every single aspect and way. It really is. And it's a jump in many ways. Instead of it just being one, just completely trash, build quality, but good, audio quality. Or, just very uncomfortable, but, very cheap or something along those lines. Or very good, audio quality and build quality, but, it would still be very uncomfortable. I really felt like they took a lot of things into consideration when building this headset that is just right off the bat very useful, and especially applies to a lot of people that are into hardcore gaming. And I use this headset all the time, and I'm like, every time I take it off, it's just so comfortable. And I do worry about falling asleep with this on. I would really, really hate to fall asleep with this on, because crazy things can happen when you're sleeping, and you don't know what you do when you sleep. But, just don't have to worry about very many issues. And, I feel like I've repeated a lot of things, but again, for just, it may seem like a lot more money to some people, but you will be getting premium. You will be getting good quality with this. You truly will. And that's going to really get you into like, wow, I can't believe I spent $60 on that headset. And in ways, you'll feel like it's probably worth a fraction because, again, this is a little bit better in every single way. And in some ways, it's extremely better. It really is. And just happy to see they, again, didn't cheap out in very many ways. They could have cheaped out on this. They took a lot of things considering, even just the little tiny, little bitty details, and they just really considered a lot. So anyways, that's pretty much it, guys, and you'll probably be seeing more videos of me actually using this headset, or if I do any gameplay videos, you'll know that I will be wearing this headset when doing that. So anyways, thanks again, guys, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button. And for those of you that have been subscribed to me, thank you guys for being so awesome and just being so awesome and just being here. So anyways, thanks again, guys, for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video.